Good morning, everyone. I'm Abdulhaq Kasimov. Here you can see my portfolio, development portfolio. Well, here I provide table of contents, learner profile, lesson plan 1, 2, 3, and then I provide references. Here you can see learner profile. My target learners are 9th class students at school number 1 in the Western District, and they are aged between 15 and 16. Their level of proficiency in English intermediate, and subject is general English, and duration of the lesson is 45 minutes. Here I choose a globalization and technologies unit and provides 3 lessons. What's globalization, future technologies, and social media. Here a message that I used during my lesson. CLT, LAM, and MOL, and teaching visitors, Ninth Form English book, Cambridge English, and ISL Collective website teaching materials. Yeah, you can see it, teaching aids. Lesson plan 1, what's globalization, methods, CLT and LAM, grammar focus, present simple and future simple. I have multi-focus to improve vocabulary skills of my students in my lesson plans. Here, content objectives, they will be able to differentiate pros and cons of globalization up to the lesson, and they will be able to identify how globalization impacts to human beings. And language objectives, they will be able to define what is globalization and to speak about how globalization affects countries and their cultures. The first activity, define the word and make connections with globalization. I designed this activity through hillofnames.com. When you click on the hill, it will randomly automatically choose one word, and students should define this word. And the rationale of this activity to improve student critical thinking and vocabulary skills. And the second activity, I provide collaborate word from Ninpod.com, or maybe teachers can use Padlet. The rationale of this activity: enhance student knowledge about globalization and its impact to technologies, and focus skill here, writing and critical thinking. And teacher will write questions to whiteboard in terms of differentiation, and ask students to write the answer to their notebook if they don't have technology, access to technology. As you can see here, questions: has globalization gone too far? Why or why not? Considering the future of globalization, what problems might persist? The third activity, matching pairs. I designed this activity through Ninpod.com, and the rationale of this activity: review the topic and expand student knowledge on globalization and develop student vocabulary skills. The focus skills here: vocabulary. Difference in terms of differentiation, teacher may distribute worksheets for students if the students don't have mobile phones or connection problems. Justification for my activities: Scott, Wendy, and Tuberk mentioned that facilitating vocabulary learning process by including different types of activities such as matching pairs, and Berman also mentioned that the effectiveness of word games is better than ordinary traditional methods. In the lesson plan 2, the same future technologies, grammar focus, passive voice. Content objectives of this lesson plan is students will be able to understand both pros and cons sides of future technologies and how digital technology impact on life. And the language objectives, they will be able to discuss the significance of digital technology in our life, and they express their opinions about technology and develop their critical thinking skills. And here the first activity met the 2 helps of collocation and to enrich the rationale of this activity: to enrich students' vocabulary and review the previous knowledge related to social media. And students will match words with their peers, and it's also expand the student vocabulary related to social media collocations. In the activity to fill the gap, passive voice practice, students will have activity through ISL Collective. The rationale of this activity is to practice passive voice, focus skills here: grammar, listening, and writing. In terms of differentiation, if teacher finds it difficult to conduct the MOL method in the classroom, teacher will demonstrate the screen and distribute worksheets for students and ask them to complete the gap fill activity. It's very easy to differentiate this activity in the classroom. And the third activity, reading time and Kahoot. I designed this activity through Kahoot, and the focused skill is here: reading and grammar. The student will have reading activity. It's taken from their textbooks, and they will After completing the reading, they will have Kahoot game. They will have their marks according to their performance. If they got 9 or 10, they'll have 4, 8 or 7 good, or fair and poor. A justification for my activities. Menes mentioned that learners who watch outstanding and real-life clips gain more positive indicators than other students. And Berg also emphasized that YouTube helps learners to improve listening and speech abilities both within and outside the classroom. And the lesson plan 3, here you can see methods, teaching aids, and the same is social media. Objectives of the lesson: students will be able, content objectives, students will be able to understand positive and negative impact of social media in our life, and they will understand how to use social media platforms safely. Language objectives of this lesson plan is students will enrich their vocabulary with the internet and social media related words. They will be able to explain the pros and cons of using social media, and they will be able to tell their opinions with correct word order. And here, the first activity: who owns the largest social media platforms? I myself designed this activity. First, I give logos and then names of these platforms and the owners. And the rationale of this activity to enrich their knowledge about social media and its owners. And the focus skills here: vocabulary and speaking. In the second activity, word order grammar activity, as I mentioned, a lesson focused word order grammar. Here I provide 28 sentences. They should write in the correct order, and the rationale of this activity to practice word order in English and consolidate the new information about word order. And the focus skills here were grammar and vocabulary and writing, of course. And activity 3, describe the social media platform that you use. It's a group work. The students will work collaboratively with their mini groups. Teacher will divide the groups classroom into 4 mini groups. And this focus skill here: writing, critical thinking, and grammar, of course. And the rationale of this activity is to improve students' awareness about social media. A duration approximately 10 minutes. First, students should write the name of the platform and the features of this online platform, for example, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, anyway, etc. And how people communicate through this platform, and explain two main functions of the platform that new users may need when they first log into the platform in terms of privacy and safety. And here I provide a rubric justification for my activities. Miller mentioned that vocabulary games will make the learning process easier for students to learn new terminologies related to the topic. Kirk also mentioned that English has more difficult grammar than other languages in the European language family. And Marsh also emphasized that English language has no grammar. It means that English has complex grammar, so we can't deny grammar, teaching grammar in second language teaching. And so Rames also mentioned using writing activities in the classroom has positive impact on self-discovery skills of learners. I also mentioned a group work activity. It also creates a convivial atmosphere in the classroom, and I think it's very interactive for my students. Hedge also mentioned that writing activities are aid to learning. And so all in all, here, as you can see here, my references from my portfolio. And thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm ready to answer your questions. Thank you.